So one of the things that we hear at Optimize Wealth Advisory and in general discussions around investing and making money, especially when it comes to superannuation, is there's a lot of people looking at trading apps and they're looking at Bitcoin and they're looking at a whole range of other things. And what that really boils down to is control. And it's because people don't really understand what happens with their super fund. And so when it comes to self-managed super, it's all about taking control yourself. And there's a whole range of reasons why. So let's talk to some of the experts in financial planning and accounting. What are your thoughts around why someone should look at self-managed super fund if they're looking to take control?
Obviously, establishing a self-managed super fund will allow you the ultimate control. Like you mentioned earlier, they could purchase property and then with the remaining money, they could diversify into Bitcoin, share market, etc. Obviously, we'll give the advice in order to do so, so you're not buying off some wayward stock that will just go to zero in the next month or so. Ultimately, the control will give you the ability to say, this is what I believe in, and I'm going to put my funds in there. So property is a no-brainer. So you believe in property, you might as well purchase a property within your SMSF. Hypothetically, we've got a couple who's early 40s, some equity in their home, for example. Stereotypically, they'd probably have about $500,000 in the super fund combined. Now, the running cost of an industry super fund is probably close to the 1%. So every year they're paying $5,000 in fees, without a doubt, right? I feel like one of the advantages within SMSF is not under control, but if you have the right accountant, you can actually get that in the long term cheaper than having an industry super fund. And Rob, this is something that you can echo?
Yeah, well, of course. So we try and educate our clients on a self-managed super fund is a structure. It's not an investment product. It's just a structure with which you own your superannuation in. So you either have a retail fund or you have a self-managed super fund. You've got to have super. If you've got employment income, you've got to have a super. Retail fund, fees aren't high if you've got a low balance, but fees are astronomically high if you've got a decent balance. You haven't got control of the fund, of what's invested in. You think you're in something, you could be in something, you're not real sure. SMSF is a structure with which you own an asset class. And you have a whole lot bigger range of those assets. You can do your gold, you can do your crypto, you can do your app trading, you can do your property. You just have greater control of the outcome and greater control of when and if you ever retire. So it's really about how much input do I want, and if you just want to sit back and see where I get to when I'm 67 years old and help me with my Centrelink age pension form, great. But if you really want to have a crack at something, then this might be the answer, and you might need a self-managed super fund, and you might need to have active managed investment strategies.
And that's one of the things that we've seen across the board with our clients with self-managed super funds, and even in my own case, is the ability to control the decisions. You're not handing something over and hoping that you're going to get an outcome. You're making solid choices around the reasoning why. You're actively engaged in that process, but you've got so many more options to choose from. And that's part of the key is you're in control, you have more options, your costs can be and essentially are in everything that we've seen lower. And then the ability to leverage is the ability then to supercharge your outcomes. So I can't see any reason why you wouldn't. That's why I do it. That's why you need to come to the professionals and ask, is it right for me for where we're at and what we want to do to give yourself control. So download the guide, contact the team, find out if it works for you.